Hello, it is hard to believe that we're already in February. It is certainly very cold outside. I do have the Board of Education report update, but I would like to let everyone know at the end of this, I do want to talk a little bit about AMI, which is Alternative Methods of Instruction, and why the ISD is not using that. So stay tuned for that. But going back to the board report, first of all, under consent agenda, we do have bills totaling $7,749,447.06. Also under consent agenda, we have a number of items related to Project Shine. First of all, we are going to let bids for epoxy flooring finishes at our Project Shine schools. We're also going to let bids for carpet, LVT, stair treads, and cove base for all of those Project Shine schools. We're going to let bids for exterior LED upgrades, as well as letting bids for restroom partitions and letting bids for the replacement of interior and exterior doors. The last agenda item under consent agenda is a letting of bids for the demolition and installation of playground equipment for 17 elementary sites. Now this consent agenda item is contingent upon the bond passing in April. Under Superintendent's report, I did have a number of items that I talked with the school board. First of all, I was down in Jeff City last Tuesday to testify under two bills. First was House Bill 729 and the other was Senate Bill 95. I do have to say, I've never been down to Jeff City to testify in which I thought it was so contentious for those who were down there talking about public education. I am very concerned about the method and mode that I see occurring down in Jeff City in attacking public education. This is something that I'm going to try to keep all of our employees and our patrons updated on as the legislative session continues. Also under Superintendent's report, I talked a little bit about our COVID cases in the district. I'm very happy to report that our active COVID cases sets at 0.19%. That's as of the 8th. And comparing this, you have to go all the way back to October the 2nd when we also had 0.19% cases of active COVID. Quarantines, we're sitting at 0.64 as of the 8th, and this is in comparison to 0.68% on November the 6th. So obviously our cases are going down significantly here in the ISD. We are going to monitor if we do have an uptick after the Super Bowl gatherings that probably occurred, but as of right now, I do feel very good about where we are as a district. Also, I did report that if it was not for the bad weather, on Monday we would have had our sophomores report back full in person every day if they so chose. And also our 6th through 8th graders that have 2 or more Fs had the opportunity also to come back every day at our middle schools. Under new business, we did have a presentation on the 2021 summer school. It's going to look a little bit different this year, mostly because we want to make up for any learning loss that has occurred due to COVID. Item number 2 under new business was the approval of a Board of Education policy. That's policy 6180. This deals with ELL services. This is something that's required by state statute, but we were already doing it as a district. So more than anything, it's making sure that our practices reflect policy. Also, item number 3 was the approval for Board of Education Policy 6190. This is also due to a change in state statute. This relates to enrollment in virtual education classes, and it states that decisions have to be made by the Board of Education within a certain time period. Item number 4 was the approval to purchase student desktop computers. This is from Ed Plus for $198,000, and this is for 180 Lenovo computers. Item number 5 under new business is the approval to pay Microsoft their yearly license agreement for FY21. This totals $126,914.15, and again, this is also through Ed Plus. Item 6 is the approval of the FY21 budget amendments. This is something that we typically do twice a year. Usually we will approve the February budget amendments, and that is a way that we can reflect any changes within the budget that we've had after the fiscal year starts. Of this, there were 81 pages of budget amendments. 61 of those pages were resulting from early education amendments. The reason we have to do that is the early education budget, as it relates to federal funding, does not line up with the school district's budget year, which is from July 1 to July 30th. Item number 7 was the approval of the preliminary budget ordering. This is required by state statute, and what it does, it allows the school district to start purchasing items for next school year during this fiscal year. And again, this is required by state statute. Item number 8 is the approval of the employment calendars for the 2021-2022 school year. And we base this off of the teacher calendar. So those 9-month contracts and calendars, we then base our 10, 11, and 12-month off of that. This is something we do every year. Just as a reminder for all of our employees, this is something that could change if DESE and the governor would grant a waiver in which we could start earlier than 14 days prior to Labor Day. As I promised at the beginning of the board report, I do want to talk a little bit about AMI, or alternative methods of instruction, and explain why I, as the superintendent, have chosen not to utilize that here in the ISD. And I certainly understand that other districts have chosen to do this, and I respect that decision. But first of all, I'm so very proud of the virtual education platform that we've developed, and I think our teachers are doing a great job. Approximately 20% of our families have chosen to use this instruction method, but the reality is that 80% have not chosen to use this. And while it may be great for some families, many others are not comfortable with this. They may not have the resources at home, whether that be technology, internet access, or even the ability of the family to what they would deem as be effective teachers for their child during these AMI days. So for those reasons, I want to make sure that we always put the best product that works best for the majority of our families out there. So that's why I would prefer to make these inclement weather days up at the end of the school year. The second thing is how this would impact certain employee groups. As COVID started, one of the things that I've said time and time again is, number one, I wanted to protect jobs. I didn't want anybody to lose their jobs due to COVID, but also I wanted to make sure that nobody lost hours. And whenever you lose hours or days, that results in less pay. So whenever you have a situation where AMI would occur, students are being educated virtually, there are some employee groups that would not work that day. The most notably, like our bus drivers, our paraprofessionals, our nutrition service workers. And much like the promise that I made with COVID, I have the same philosophy due to AMI, is I don't want anybody to lose any pay for that. So, I know that some people may want to have AMI and they think it's an easy solution to whenever we have bad weather days. But at the end of the day, we have a very big responsibility for children's education, and I want that to be as high quality as we can have. And two, I want no employee groups to be adversely affected financially with this. So I hope that answers people's questions. I've received a few emails and calls about it, and I thought I'd just get that out for everyone. So with that, that is your February board report. I hope you're having a great start to the second semester. Please stay warm, and thank you for what you do.